This is how I made my Cornholapalozza launcher. So first I used a circ saw to cut a piece of plywood to make the sides of my launcher. I used a miter saw to cut 2x4s for support braces. Then I screwed the support pieces into the plywood. Then I realized it was too high, so I used a circ saw to cut the top off. Then I used a miter saw to cut PVC pipe. Then I put the PVC pipe pieces together. Then I used a pipe cutter to cut a copper pipe to make the PVC stronger. Then I used a pre-drill to drill holes to put my eye bolts in. Then I used a nut driver to screw the bolts together. Then I used a hole saw to make a hole to put my PVC through. Then I cut the top support pieces by using a miter saw. Then I screwed the top support pieces into the plywood. Then I used a hole saw to cut notches into my top support pieces. Then I jigsawed out the end of those notches. Then I added tension rubber bands to my eye bolts. I put my piping through the holes I had made. Then I used a belt sander to sand a piece of plywood to make my trigger out of. Then I screwed support pieces in to hold the trigger. Then I bolted the trigger into the trigger support pieces. Then I screwed in screws to put my tension rubber bands on. Then I attached my rubber bands to the screws. Then I used a pre-drill to drill a hole into my trigger piece. Then I used a pre-drill to drill a hole into the side of my launcher. Then I stuck a wire through the side of my launcher and through the hole in my trigger. Then I primed my launcher. Then I put painter's tape on my launcher and taped over it with paint. Then I took the painter's tape off, and this is the finished product. Then I reconstructed it because I had taken it apart to paint it. Then I made a piece for my beanbag to rest on and screwed it into a PVC tee. Then I put it onto the arm of my launcher. Then I screwed in screws in the top of my launcher. Then I attached rubber bands to the screws to use as shock absorbers. Then I used craft lettering to put my name on the launcher.